and this will go out live.
Live. You're on live
Or
right
it's recorded.
now. We are recording. Isn't that a great voice, everybody? I meant Charles's voice. Charles Faulkner is visiting us with on Late Night Health. This is Late Night Health live from Supply Side West in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Late Night Health is powered by Podclips. And we thank Mike Anderson and his crew for helping us do that. We just met 2 minutes ago. We're sitting in the press room, and I invited Charles Sebastian Faulkner. He is the editor of Nutraceuticals Now, a 20-year-old publication. And I guess your mission is to help people learn about the benefits of supplements.
Of all types of nutrition. And the industry has changed over the last 25 years from relatively unknown ideas which were once considered to be novel and fantasy, which are now become part of the everyday shopping basket of the modern conscious health consumer.
You're based in the UK, so
Yes.
I want to just find out little differences between Americans and England. For example,
America's about 20 years ahead.
Are we really?
Set the trends, and the rest of the world tends to follow.
Even with England?
I think so, yeah. Maybe not 20. I mean, that's a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
Sure.
But certainly they set the trends in almost everything, and then everybody else tends to follow. The significant factor is, of course, the legislation and the regulation of what claims you can make. They differ widely in the US as opposed to Europe.
Well, right now, the biggest thing here is
CBD,
Right.
yeah. And what I take from it all is is similar to the message what Ice-T, the actor, said in his quote. You have to check yourself before you wreck yourself, and that can apply to the individual, and it can apply to the people entering into this industry, because it's an unknown quantity, and you're talking about removing psychedelic aspects of a narcotic and then reintroducing that into a diet based with some health claims, and it doesn't sit very well and comfortable with a lot of people.
What about you? What's your standpoint at Nutraceuticals Now?
We have to take a neutral position. We have to be non-dualistic about everything. We don't have an opinion on this. We sit on the fence.
Is it allowed yet in England, CBD? Or are they thinking about it?
It is to a certain. I think some on some level, yeah. But I don't know the exact status as regards all of the products and what they're allowed to sell at the moment.
How long have you been with Nutraceuticals Now?
From the beginning.
From the beginning. You mentioned the change. How did you find alternative or natural health?
Okay, well, I worked 25 years ago. I worked in general ingredients, and at that time, the whole world and everybody was about bottom line: stack them high, sell them cheap. And
they still do that.
They still do that, of course. And then there was a shift in
excuse me. There's Costco has invaded England, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So and that hasn't gone away, but there has been a change in what we're seeing currently. With climate change and everybody going green and these seemed extreme and novel ideas years ago as well, but it's become more and more mainstream. But having said that, just being a vegan doesn't mean that you'll have a healthy diet. And that could be said the same of the sustainability with companies. Just because they they look at their carbon footprint, or they're become a little bit more cautious about planting a few trees, does not make them sustainable. There is a lot more inventories that people need to address that within themselves and their operations, right down from base level to what the CEO and the board are doing in these companies. Yeah.
What's your biggest takeaway from the show?
Apart from the CBD and the interest around that, I think generally is the increase in the continuing increase and entrance of companies into this arena
into the natural products.
Yeah, from 20, 25 years ago. It's amazing how, and having witnessed from the beginning how it's grown, and we're really only scratching the surface.
Absolutely. Here in the U.S., 75% of the people take supplements of one kind or another. What about in England? Do you know? I mean, are they as interested?
I'm not sure if it's as high as that, but there is a supplement culture, and they're on the subject of CBD. There's terms floated about like supplement junkies, and the problem with that is that if you take too many supplements, they can counter the benefits of the other. And really, you should seek nutrition through natural diet and use supplements as supplements.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. It's to supplement.
Yeah.
That's the word.
But the nutrition, the key core of your diet should come from natural sources.
Well, are you, by natural sources, are you saying like organic foods, clean food?
Well, or just simple products that are nutritious in a natural form.
I mean, you're from England, and I'm going to be tongue-in-cheek here, okay?
Yeah.
England is not known as the culinary capital of the world.
No.
Right?
No.
Food there, I've been. I'm trying to think. I had some great Indian food. The other stuff was relatively bland. I mean, and I know that in the last 20 years
we are talking about conscious consumers, and we're not talking about the general public that live on takeaways and fast
fish
food.
And chips and
fast food.
You know what I like the best part of fish and chips?
Sure.
The pickled onions. And the vinegar.
Yeah, we're talking about conscious consumers who are moving away from old traditional ways of and are preparing their own food from scratch. This is the way forward, and this is what I think is trending in how people are going to achieve a healthier, nutritionally based diet.
The fact that there are about 1,300 vendors here, 1,300, and I think the expectation was 18,000 attendees, is amazing. Are you going to be back for Expo West in March?
Well, this is my sixth time that I've attended Supply Side West, and I've been to Expo West and
20 years for me.
Many times.
Many times, right. So you'll be back. My point is that Expo West is going to have 80,000 people.
Yeah, but it does cover a number of other industries as well.
Correct.
Yeah, not just nutrition. It's personal care and household, toiletries.
Clothing, toiletries, pet stuff. Yeah. I saw pet CBD.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You know. And my goldfish seem to like it. Is it amazing to you that there are so many people here? There are so many. These people have created and developed products for consumers, and it's endless. I mean, curcumin, turmeric, tea, beverages, food?
Well, you can take a nutritionally based product or a plant or a fruit, and you can process it down into different aspects of the product, and from that there's a multitude of different things that can be achieved from it. So, as we said earlier, we've only scratched the surface as to what we can achieve.
One of the other things that I've noticed is plant-based proteins, right? So we have several of our takeaway restaurants, our fast food restaurants here, are now serving plant-based burgers, right? I have a problem with that because they use the same grill, right? Are plant-based proteins, burgers, etc.? Are they being?
That's
are
only
they
going to
popular?
become an issue where there's an allergy factor. Otherwise, it's not significant that it's cooked together. Apart from if somebody on moral grounds is not
vegan or vegetarian doesn't
or
want to do
religion.
it. When I had one, and it, how a real burger has this bloodiness to it, right? Have you tried these things?
Yes.
Right. What do you think? Good, bad. He's trying to be nice. Come on, Charles.
It depends if you're substituting or if you are using it as an alternative.
Right. My wife said I gave her one, and she hated it. And she said, if I want a burger, I'll eat a quality burger. Right? This doesn't taste right. And I went, you can't disagree with that, right? Charles, thank you very much. Your parent company is Johnson & Johnson Publishing, and he's based in Scotland. Can I tell you a real quick story about Scotland? My mother-in-law and father-in-law were in Scotland, and she ordered Irish whiskey. She was in Ireland, and she ordered Scotch. And when she came back, she was converted to Irish whiskey. Yeah, that's it. They were in Scotland. Did I get that story all messed up? I did. Anyway, thank you, Charles. We really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Hang in for me for 1 second. The music's coming back up, and that signifies the end of this segment. And we appreciate Charles Faulkner from Nutraceuticals Now joining us here on Late Night Health. Late Night Health, powered, of course, by Pod Clips. Thank you, Mike Anderson, for helping us with that. We'll be back. We have a couple more segments to do here at Late Night Health. And we appreciate you tuning in and listening. All right, I'm Mark Alyn. See you later.